Welcome. Today our topic is Shakespeare sonnet, that is sonnet number 73. We already saw sonnet 60 and sonnet 14. If you not yet seen means I will give the link in the description box as well as in video itself I will give. You can go and click and you can watch it. Okay. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe my channel, support me by subscribing my channel and click the bell icon which is near to you. Okay, we will go to the sonnet. So here I am going to give a deep and a clear explanation in each and every line. Okay, sonnet number 73. We all know that Shakespeare has written 154 sonnets. This is sonnet number 73. First stanza. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. So here in this first stanza itself, Shakespeare used a literary device, that is a metaphor, in order to characterize the nature of old age. For example, here in the second lines we got the yellow leaves. In which season we will get a yellow leaves? It is in the season of autumn. Yes, here he portrays the autumn season, how the yellow leaves and then none and few leaves were hang on the bough which shake against the cold. Because of the cold season only it shakes and it has fallen, the leaves were fallen, and then no leaves will be there. In some branches few will be there and in some may be hanged one. The time of year thou mayst in me behold, that is, that time is behold. It is nothing but it is his own life where it is related to the autumn season, time of year, that is his old age, that may it in me behold. What I have now, what holded me now, that is old age only holded me now. He is comparing, that is the matter, he is comparing his whole life to the autumn season. Bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. So during the autumn season what happened? There will be nothing, only bare ruined choirs and no birds will come and sing. So in this particular stanza the lyrical voice seems to implying that autumn is a particular time of the year when death occurs. Moreover, the lyrical voice compares his aging process to nature and particularly to autumn. This particularly to autumn season only he is referring here. This suggests that aging is similar to the momentum of the year. When the leaves have almost completely fallen, the weather is cold and the birds left their branches. So here he emphasized the harshness and emptiness of old age. He is giving that in old age he have nothing. That only he is expressing in this stanza. In me thou seest that, in the second stanza, in me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fade in the west, which by and by black night doth take away. That second self that seals up all in rest. Here in this second stanza he compares the process of aging to the twilight. For example, how we can say we become old age? See, by saying autumn season, the fallen leaves, we will say I become old. And then one more thing, that is twilight. Twilight is nothing but that before sunset. We will compare, for example, in many poems or anything, the author or the poet, they may compare that morning is a birth time and then afternoon is what we are living, and then when it comes twilight, when it comes night, it becomes end. The darkness, when it comes, no, our life become ends. That like that they will compare. So here also Shakespeare is comparing that when twilight comes, it gives that it's going to end, it's going to end their life. And for example, it feels that the aging, that is, it becomes old age. And then he uses another metaphor to describe that how he feels towards old age. The lyrical voice says that old age is similar to the twilight, and it can be seen in him. That is, twilight is nothing but, I told you, it becomes aging as after sunset fade in the west. After sunset, we will have that twilight, which where in which side, that is the west side, which by and by black night doth take away. Then after twilight what comes? The black night will come, death's second self that seals up all in rest. So death will become a what? Second self, and it will all become rest. It will seals as a rest. This particular scenario is described when the sun fades and night approaches. This metaphor emphasizes the gradual fading of youth. As the twilight shifts to night, by and by, notice that in the final line, death is directly related to the particular time of the day, and it is described as the one that brings eternal rest. That is, the death second self is nothing but eternal, that is eternal rest. So when we see in the first stanza, this line portrayed aging at the end of a cycle. In the previous stanza, that is in the first stanza, it represents by the different natural season. They Shakespeare compared the autumn season. Here in the second stanza, it represents the moment of the day. So first is the season, second is explaining about the day. First, in the autumn season, how the fallen leaves, some will fall and some, there is no leaf on the tree, and some may in the branches, some may hang. And then what happened? There will be no birds to sing. So these are all the many things we can see in the autumn season. But in the second stanza, here the poet explaining what? That is, in a day, how the day comes, when the sunset, after the sunset, how the twilight comes, and during the twilight, what are the things happen, after the twilight, how the night comes. So these are all the explanation how he became old in age. Third stanza. Here in third stanza, in me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. In the third stanza, the lyrical voice compares him or herself to ashes. That is, in me thou seest the glowing of such fire. See, what are the things you have seen me, like a glowing things, whether my talent or whether my beauty or whatever may be, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie. It will become what? It is become like a ashes, where himself. So here the poet is mentioning that there are remains of fires. The fire represents youth, and according to the lyrical voice, it will soon be consumed. That on the ashes of his youth doth lie. What are the things that youth has? It will become ashes when after the youth goes. For example, when we are in a youth age, we have all the glowing. We will be like a fire in a beauty or in a speaking, in walking, anything. But when we become old age, it all becomes like a ashes. So here this fire represents youth, and according to it, it will soon consume. Again he uses the metaphor that how the troubled thoughts about aging. And next, as the deathbed wear on, it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. So here see how it consumes the fire. When death comes, when we are in a deathbed, it will all expire. There will not anything with that which is nourished by. We cannot do anything. We can consume what we have. With that only we can nourish our life. There is nothing will be there. All will become ashes. Okay, here in the third stanza, the poet is explaining about how that the phrases here indicate how the poet is drawing an allusion between an external image and an internal state of mind, and then it is association that in turn forces a slower reading of the line, enabling some reflection on the emotional tone that each image evokes. Last two lines, that is couplet. This thou persuades which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. So here in the final stanza he defines what purpose he is living. See, this couplet is addressing to the young man, that is unnamed man, that is a fair youth. Here he is telling that this young man to strengthen his love and to understand everything that he said throughout the stanza. Only it will go and it will refer to the young man, because in the two lines he is explaining, he is giving addressing to the young man. Only his love, the possibility of dying the old age, emphasize the need to love even more than before, taking into account that he or the loved one could soon part from the world. So here he is explaining that will which thou must leave long, thy love more strong. Here the poet is explaining that he is addressing to the youth, that makes clear the conclusion that is to be drawn from the preceding paragraph, that is believing that he will soon die and never see the young man again. The poet's love for the youth intensifies. So this is the explanation of the sonnet 73, and if you like this video, kindly give a like and comment and share among your friends. If you not yet subscribe my channel, kindly subscribe my channel. Thank you for your patience listening. In the next video I am going to give one more sonnet explanation. If you want anything to be explained, you can type it in the chat box, so sure I will explain it. Thank you.